Good morning, y'all. Ooh. I love the trumpets. I don't know if y'all can see. My incense is blowing right over here. So much to lose. Got so much to prove. God, don't let me lose my mind. I hope y'all had good rest. Trouble on my left, trouble on my right. I've been facing trouble almost all my life. Y'all, today, I woke up just as a heavy rain must have stopped. And I don't know, I kind of rushed out of bed. I don't know if I had any uncomfortable dreams or something. I didn't wake up feeling uncomfortable, but I felt like something was urgent, like there was a reason I needed to get up out of bed. But there was nothing wrong. Nothing seemed to be needed of me. I'm in a good mood, but a sort of solemn mood today. I'm not quite sure what that is. Also, I started my music for the reading, but instead of listening to music this morning, I was called to watch Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And I realized it's been a while since I watched it. We have Eastabus, the Angel of Divination, and Catcher. I think Malkuth came out at the bottom, appropriately. Malkuth representing the kingdom. Here's Gavura, Judgment, and Shakma, Wisdom. Okay. Plenty to read there. And you know what? That kind of energy pairs nicely with my feels. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm going to try to speak up today, but pardon me. I'll probably end up brewing some more coffee before this day is over. Pardon me. Yes, watching Sweeney Todd is what kept me from arriving earlier. I thought that I would pause it in the middle and do the read. Eighth house, waning gibbous moon came out first, and eighth house. I halfway expected to get to it once. Oh, if I haven't said already, I'm 8th House Moon Rabbit. Allison Krauss. Some bright morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away to a land on God's celestial shores. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning. Well, obviously that song comes to mind. I'll Fly Away, and it's from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which came out in a reading this week, last week sometime, not sure. The Strokes, I'm getting The Adults Are Talking. Michael Jackson. I'm going to have to, and Weezer, I'm going to have to leave those two for now to your intuitive discretion. Weezer, because both of those have quite a catalog. Matt Mason, Mason. I realized a song called Cringe came out a while back, and I said the name, but it's spelled differently than one might guess, although the internet is interconnected enough now that you can get close enough. In fact, you don't have to get real close anymore. Night of the Living Dead. I had intended to stay up late last night and watch Sweeney Todd because I've been feeling like, watch this movie. Right now, Romeo and Juliet are paused. I was a child the last time I saw that movie, and I was in love with it. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Maverick, The Wizard of Oz, which came out yesterday, and There Will Be Blood. I just wanted you to watch me dissolve slowly in a pool full of your love. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is definitely coming to mind with Michael Jackson. Also, it's been coming to mind, like, these cards, the aged parchment paper, look, it really just occurred to my conscious mind. That's one of the elements that I like about these cards. And ever since I identified that, I keep getting the feeling like one of these days soon, this was in reverse. I had to check the deck. It was reversed so smooth. Ooh, I was supposed to start reading. I'll get a couple more out before I feel like I am doing what I should be doing, including using this deck. Just now, as I was contemplating, leaving myself open to feel which deck should be used, I was reminded of the parchment paper look. And having watched Sweeney Todd today, I just wanted... Wow! Did I have reversals in the deck? Pretty sure I turned it all around. It's definitely been shuffled. The Moon in reverse, 9 of Cups. I just wanted you to watch me dissolve in a pool full of your love. That definitely gives me Mrs. Lovett vibes. Oh, at the bottom of the music, The Whitest Boy Alive. Oh, and Janelle Monáe is underneath that. Which always reminds me of the Silent Hill credits. Beautiful credits. I remember thinking, like, oh my god. They did a little bit much. They were a little bit extra in the movie, but whoever they handed over the end credits to, in those selections, wonderful job. I was riveted. And I had to find that song for the old 30 gig iPod. And I'm still obsessed with it. I can listen to that song back to back to back to back. The riff is just satisfying as fuck. And I don't know why the hell I'm talking about this right now. 8 of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius. Wheel of Fortune. I swear to God that came to me as I was watching TV, and there's a new commercial where they say something, but it's to the tune, to that sing-song, that cheer tune, Wheel of Fortune. And I thought, all this time I've been messing with tarot cards and I've never thought Wheel of Fortune when I've seen this card or gotten it out. And that stood out to me. Maybe this is the something right under your nose vibe. Night of the Living Dead. That's the first. Return of the Living Dead was at the bottom of the deck a couple of days ago. It's only going up just one thing, another. The Emperor. It took a little time to make a little better. It's only going up just one thing and another. Something that can work and it can work for you. And you know it will. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Maybe I cheered too soon. 9 of Swords in reverse. That's patience, unselfishness, timidity. Why did I turn this up right? Control, decisions made, finding help. Ace of Swords in reverse. Tyranny, disaster, self-destruction, chaos, weakness, lack of destiny. And the 3 of, that's not the 3, it's the World in reverse. Failure, imperfection, lack of fulfillment, unfinished, emptiness, grief for missed opportunity. 9 of Cups in reverse. Selfishness, greed, materialism, mistakes, imperfections. I'm also getting, another thing I heard the other day with the wands, the Ace of Wand in reverse, as I was flipping cards, just flipping cards, really. I tend not to ask questions, rather just keep myself open to interpreting whatever might come through. 3 of Cups. Both those are 2 Mercury. 8 of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. Cancer in Mercury in Cancer is the 3 of Cups. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met, girl? Oh, I heard that clear as fuck. Page of Swords. Maverick came out here. Jack of all trades, master of none. Is what I heard. With my mind's ear is what that means when I say I heard. So many reversals. High Priestess at the bottom. 5 of Swords in reverse. That is Venus in Aquarius. Strength tested, approachable, fairness, assertiveness, uncertain outlook, resentment. 5 of Wands. Saturn and Leo, I believe. Learn to take life as it comes, both positive and negative. I thought that it would. And the song By the Sea from Sweeney Todd, as performed by Helena Bonham Carter, is in my mind. The song, what is this? Young Folks, I believe the song is called. Over me and you. Yeah, Young Folks, Peter, Bjorn, and John. And I don't know what, we don't care about the young folks talking about the young style, and we don't care about the old folks talking about the old style too. All we care about is talking about me and you. That's 5-5. 5-5-5. And 2 of them reversals. By the sea, Mr. Todd, that's the life I covet. By the sea, Mr. Todd, ooh, I know you'd love it. You and me, Mr. T, and I... What? You and me, Mr. T, we could be alone in a house what we'd almost own down by the sea. So hopeful, so delusional. As I was watching, and I believe when I got the card out, the cinema card, I mentioned that they were both karmic. And karmic for each other. Well, they were both distorted. And as the story went on, they became karmic. And while I remember the movie made me cry several times, at several places when I was around 19 when I first saw it. But this time, only one part really stuck out to me, and that was the little boy who was so grateful for having gotten what he thought was love from Mrs. Lovett. And he was singing to her and saying how nothing was going to harm her while he was around because I guess the light within him illuminated the demons in Sweeney Todd. And he assumed she didn't know because he thought so highly of her. I don't know why this is coming to me at this particular moment. But in the song By the Sea, you can see that he is always the little boy that is trailing behind someplace. He's always out of the way so that she can enjoy enmeshing codependently with Sweeney Todd, who she's pined for a very long time. She was covetous and envious of his wife. She noticed him when he was still a barber with his wife. That I held up that Knight of Pentacles because that's what that reminded me of. 5 of Pentacles is Mercury and Taurus. That's a lot of Mercury energy out here. Mercury has been prominent in several of the readings. 5, 5, 5, 5 of Cups. I believe that's Mars and Scorpio. Tower energy. I believe Mars is moving into Scorpio. Ace of Pentacles. Well, that's nice. Well, I almost dropped so much, but I ended up only dropping 1. And also, ooh, 3 of Swords in reverse. Release. Optimism, forgiveness, alienation, recovery. Distraction. And here, it's when I split the deck accidentally, catching things. The King and the Knight of Cups. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on that. But I feel it still. I'm gonna drop on this whole cake scale. I'm going to go ahead and take this time to read these angels. And I might go right through to the astrology, divination. And Keter is the first. There was Gavura. And Shakma. Okay, let's go. East of us. The angel of divination, you've called his name, and so it has come, but you do not command what is foretold. East of us can only be an uncertain ally in these mercurial times. East of us reveals the ever-shifting rhythm of the skies and beckons us to observe the alignment of signs. Something is seen in the clouds, in the leaves, in the shadows. Something as glorious as fate. You observe something that could not, must not be real. Curiosity is your call to action. You are compelled to go. Signs, sacred geometry, a cup of tea, a falling star. Keter. The crown, spirituality. The first emanation, the first utterance, the font of energy through which Insoft emanates into the universe. The crown sits above the head and embodies the song by the Strokes that I spoke about, called The Adults Are Talking, just started playing. That's what. Okay. The crown that sits above the head and embodies that which is beyond our comprehension. One must envision Keter not as an object that can be perceived, but as the light that is cast upon it. Keter's light is beyond knowability, a timeless expanse of pure consciousness. Only through respect for our own limitations do we begin to see the shadow of its nature. It is the dark orb beyond which lies the infinite. As the highest point on the tree, all continuums cascade downward from it. DJ, called Cascade with a K, comes to mind, and the song On Your Mind. Cascade downward from it. Keter stands in contrast to Malkuth, who rests at the very bottom of the tree and who rested at the very bottom of the angels yesterday. The span that lies between them measures the complete distance from the most spiritual to the most physical aspects of our existence. Journeying downward from this point, all other emanations become increasingly close to our present experience. Found in spiritual epiphany, faith, and humility. Shakma. The second emanation. Shakma came last, but it's interesting that 1 and 2 are out here. Gavura. Okay, the fifth emanation. The hand that separates the rule of law that brings order to the world. Gavura assesses what is just, helping us overcome our adversaries both within and without. Here's the power to cleave apart a unified whole and leave its component pieces. It is a trait that commands as much fear as respect, because with it comes an inherent violence. She does this without enmity. It is an act that must be committed to create balance. The red orb exists as a boundary closed to the unworthy. Gavura's position at the center of its pillar defines the pillar's trait of severity. Her push against Chesed on the opposite side of the tree is met with equal and opposite resistance. Without both of them in equal measure, we have no means of maintaining healthy relationships. We must have judgment to discern what is healthy for us so that we can bring it into our lives and embrace it. Found in law, bravery, and punishment. And that definitely makes me think of the dynamics that were present in that movie. We must have judgment to discern what is healthy for us. See, the child, he didn't have judgment to discern. He was from, it's very brief, because the story is to show you what these people are focused on. And nobody is really focused on the child. Every time you see him, he's basically at their disposal or trying to be. He's offering himself to be helpful. In fact, I'm pretty sure the one time that he asks for anything from anyone, as opposed to offering something, is Sweeney Todd. And he asks whether, when he's at the end, when Sweeney Todd is finally going to kill the judge. Ha! Gavora, law. When he finally is going to kill the judge, he sends a letter ahead. He has completely abandoned the idea of being with his daughter because he is gone full dark mode. And the child asks, okay, as I'm delivering this letter, can I do something? And he snapped at him. And at this point, you know that Sweeney Todd is mostly, the endearing parts of him are mostly gone. Huh. And lastly is Shakma. The right eye, wisdom. The second emanation, a vessel to hold that which is most precious. The first gate out of potentiality and a step into the realm of the known. Shakma is the first moment a newborn child opens its eyes. That child's first steps and its first word. He is the beginning of a lifelong journey whose path disappears over the horizon. Where Keter is the pin that hovers over the page, Shakma is the moment of contact. From nothingness, wisdom is formed. To have insight into that which is not known is a gift. East of us, divination. To have insight into that which is not known is a gift that is not bestowed lightly. The gray ore breaks the surface of our consciousness. Descending from the summit of the tree, we see its duality begin to form. Shakma sits atop the pillar of mercy, forming the first masculine aspect of the diagram. Its partner, Bina, opens next to reveal the two eyes through which we see the world. Found in birth, intuition, and the subconscious. I find it worthy of remark that both Gavora and Shakma at the bottom are feminine and masculine energies. Okay. Waning gibbous moon in a reading. As the moon begins to get smaller, you may feel an urge to share recently acquired knowledge with your community. Reflection doesn't always have to be a solitary act. Communication about your feelings can help prepare you for the upcoming stages. Look at it this way. If someone else's information could help you, wouldn't you want them to share it? You could also be feeling out of the loop or shunned by your community. Being ostracized hurts, and you should share how you feel with those around you. This behavior could be unintentional, so don't write anyone off yet. And that, I definitely got that. As I was speaking about how he treated the child and how that was a pivotal moment in the film where you look at him and he looks like somebody different. You have to give up rooting for him at that time if you really were before. At least kind of give up hope. And one of his main problems, like the first words he says in the film, there's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and it's filled with people who are filled with shit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it. And eventually, and he broke into the young sailor's song, where he's saying there's no place like London. He's happy to be home. And Sweeney Todd is so lost in his internal mechanisms of despair, resentment. Five of Swords in reverse. He has been done wrong. But he attributes that to everyone, casting aside the person that he was initially, the naive barber with his wife. I have another to read. The naive barber with his wife. He was an innocent. But now that he's, I believe, escaped prison, even though he was rescued by the sailor boy and he could have died at sea, he still doesn't give homage to the light. He's already pretty far gone at that point. Eighth house, the realm of reincarnation. He changed his name from Benjamin Barker to Sweeney Todd. The zodiac ruler is Scorpio. Planetary ruler Pluto, water element, position succedent. House emotional. In astrology, the eighth house is the realm of reincarnation, which encompasses the inevitable areas of life such as sex, death, and taxes. There are no shades of gray in this house. Things are either black or white. Shared resources are also a big theme of the eighth house. Someone who has a lot of planets here will often find themselves dealing with other people's finances or assets in some way, or will be the person called on to clean up emotional messes. Eighth house transits can cause you to retreat into your own inner sanctum for self-reflection, regardless of whether or not this is the energy those planets are known for. This need for security can cause you to be ostracized from your community. Feelings of ostracization. Yes, he felt like he was now on the outside. And because he felt that way, it was true. But they were all, him, Mrs. Lovett, and the boy, they were all kind of in their own community, alone. Alone together. The opposite, they were codependent, not interdependent. Hold on. I only see one page out here. When you emerge, you will be a stronger, more enlightened version of yourself. In a reading, the arrival of the eighth house is a sign that it's time to take a break from the world and work on letting go of destructive behaviors. Nobody can do this part of your evolution for you. I'll let you know when I'm giving up the living room to you, okay? No, he's at work. I love you. Good morning. Hold on, y'all. I love him. Maybe made me feel a little bit better. I realize now that I felt a bit of a weight. Okay. Nobody can do this part of your evolution for you. Working with this house, my lips are feeling dry. Working with this house is like taking a long and hard walk with the absolute worst parts of yourself. While you're in this place, it's torture, but when you finish, you are elated. You feel a real sense of accomplishment. We all face struggles from time to time, especially when it comes to bills, taxes, and deadlines. If you have been waiting for a sign to get your life in order, congratulations. The eighth house is it. Come up with a realistic plan for sorting things out before they get worse. Keywords: death, occult, taboos, danger, torture, relief, and reflection. Y'all. Okay, I'm going to clarify these three reversals right in the center. The moon, trifling mistakes, truth, deception, recognized. That's deception recognized. Consciousness, clarity. Wow. The Five of Cups. I did suspect that there's a somebody wrestling with their shadow right now, I believe. Or in some kind of conflict, whether it's making itself apparent or whether this is spiritual, energetic, with somebody who is in the grips of their shadow. 6 of Swords. Mercury. Again, Mercury. A lot of call to action, but I suppose that makes sense because where I'm from isn't all that cool. My automobile is a piece of crap. Just hearing a bit of the song Beverly Hills. 10 of Swords in reverse. Recovery, regeneration, rebirth, beneficial, improvement, advantage, profit. Maybe somebody is like teetering at the edge right now, or in recovery. Like, I feel like this is somebody on the cusp, either right on the edge emotionally, psychologically, you know, because a lot. Getting trouble at work, maybe being reprimanded at work, maybe over things that weren't necessarily this person's fault. Or somebody who's just coming out of all this. If I get the 9 of Wands, then I know that there's a wounded warrior and that this is past tense. And now the healing and self-care as making sure your loose ends are tightened up. Like having your ass covered, knowing how to, damn, is my whole deck upside down? No, it's not, but, okay. 6 of Cups also in reverse, not nostalgic. This might totally be about a relationship ending that was like some bullshit. Definitely a relationship that has ended or is in the death throes right now. And I got violent death throes. Don't y'all be doing no domestic violence. Don't y'all let nobody be doing no domestic violence to you either. You better pick up the motherfucking phone and call the police. Yes. Yes, and I absolutely mean that. Because if they'll say that they love you and put their hands on you, then they'll do it to somebody else, and perhaps somebody that doesn't have the thumbs. You know, the animals can get caught up in that. Old people who are infirm, children, you know. Made my ear itch. Like, woof. I get hot. Like, I gotta call the cops, because if I handle it, I'm not going to be lawful and fair about it. What? 3 of Wands in reverse? No. Knight of Wands in reverse, which is really, look, evil-minded, cruel, bigoted, hurried, careless, discord in the home, celebration, the place that's supposed to be for celebration, stability, rest, cleverness, beauty, romance, mirth, milestones, and community. Oh, I even forgot that the adults are talking was playing, and I paused it. I got so carried away with this right here. It's like there's so many moving parts. I did speak of codependency an entanglement, I think, pardon, I think people, now the song has moved on. Electric Love. What was I saying? That distracted me. Encompass. Dominance. The saddest parts about Sweeney Todd is that there's a glimmer in both Sweeney Todd and Mrs. Lovett. It's like they almost could have had it. It's like if only she hadn't given in to her lower covetous nature, which had been pining after and yearning for this man, even when he was some other woman's husband. Happy. She didn't wish him and her well together, and was all too happy, ascend, adapt. All too happy to ascend and adapt into another woman's place. And she didn't really give a damn about what happened to his daughter. And she really just wanted to be the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid, the bond, the glue. The battery in his life. She just wanted to graft herself onto him and into his life. You get the impression that she never really loved anyone, not even her first husband, who she got the shop from. And that she feels that she's never gotten what she actually deserved out of life, which might be kind of true, considering the time period, you know, and that she was a woman, a widow. She was charming, and she was clever. She was perseverant. She was ingenuitive. Is that a word? Conform. Can't really say she was a conformist either. Like, in many ways, she was an equal to his wife. And then there is the color, you know, scheme and comparison between, you know, Tim Burton's beloved and favored trope of the very blonde, very pale woman. Well, she was pale, but dark haired, dark eyed, dark browed, narcissism. With a touch of that narcissism. Because it was like she didn't really love Sweeney Todd. Maybe she loved Sweeney Todd more than she had loved him as Bob Barker. She just kind of wanted the life that he represented. This is really giving me a divine masculine who, probably through no fault of his own, got sidetracked at first, but then remained off the path, dawdling with a Mrs. Lovett type distorted feminine, who I believe went on to become karmic by indulging in their shadow. Not sure if, yes, in some part consciously. Because I get the feeling that this person, whether educated or not, they're not dumb, they're mad. And I guess that's underneath the surface with Mrs. Lovett. It's part of what draws her and Sweeney Todd together like magnets. They finally attract and stick because the kind of anger that lives inside her and the kind of plotting is what he's adopting into his life. Grizzly Weekend. No, that's not the song. Maybe sometime make it easy. 2 weeks, Grizzly Bear. Take your time. Manifest in the reverse. These people wanted desperately to manifest something worthwhile together. that song by the sea. But nothing was doing because they're a vortex of fucking darkness together. Like, God. I feel like these people might share a child. But for some reason, children keeps coming to mind, and I keep looking, expecting to see another page. Maybe there's more than one child involved on either or both parts, but they share a child together. And it came to mind that as soon as Sweeney Todd had it in his mind to hurt that little boy, she flipped on him. She folded like a fucking cheap lawn chair. That made me cry in the movie too. And karma was at work through all of it, because it was like karma can give you opportunities to balance the scales in your favor, and how you perform this is like the real test. And that little boy, being clever, being close, ain't like being true. Don't you worry, I would never hide a thing from you, he says to her. These people they were clever, or are clever, and close. I feel like when I said are clever and close, there's a couple on some Voyager's ass. I don't know whether this couple is romantic. Reveal. I don't know whether the couple is romantic or not. Whether they are or aren't, they have united in a cause. Since they're not manifesting anything, look, wisdom. Since they're not manifesting anything to be preoccupied with in their life together, discover love, masculine, hunt. Now they're on the hunt for something different. Wow. Let's show. Discover, love, masculine, and hunt. It was her that had the idea of the meat pies, thinking of something to do with the body that he created and being appropriate, practical and appropriate. That's what he called her. So this woman is, if there's a masculine escaping a woman like this, a real fatal attraction, Glenn Close type vibes, you were right to get gone. You need to be thinking a little bit like a detective, a little bit like I just thought a criminal, because I feel like this broad is not above or beyond doing you rather dirty. Maybe even people that you care about. Failure to give of oneself. Lack of sacrifice, indecision, frustrated action. Six of Wands, Three of Pentacles. I'm a man, but literally I don't know what I do. I live for you. Yeah, no love there. She is not stable. Mrs. Lovett was really stable. So if you have a one like this in your life and they are stable, definitely that is one you need to be watching. You need to pray about it. You need to clear your karma as well. Any amends that you need to make, I just thought, I suppose I heard that if you've done anything, you got a warrant out for your arrest, go ahead and turn yourself in. You got a bad habit that could result in you being incarcerated, I suggest you stop forthwith. I had to turn all these around so I can feel assured that when something comes out in the reverse, it was supposed to. Judgment, the hangman. Judgment has been called on this situation. Gavora judgment. Wisdom came out, and that is typically like my Ace of Swords. Justice. Again, I'm feeling the need and the urge to tell you, call the police. What the fuck? Oh my God. The Chariot. I'm getting the feeling that if you don't do something big in the real world, that something unexpected from the outside is going to be moving the wheel along. And I feel like you can little afford, if you are the escaping masculine, or even just a voyager who's managed to fucking look, again, catch the attention of a couple. Oh my God, I just heard like pretty much the word kink. Like, if this is a couple that invited you to be a part of their thing, it's a negative ghostwriter, okay? Don't do that. These people are fucking weird. If you have bosses and these people own a business together, and you feel like narcissism, anger, they're always all over your shit no matter what you do, go ahead and start finding another job. It's not going to get better. Like, go ahead and meditate about it. Breathe it out and come to peace with having to change. This also reminds me of yesterday's reading where I was, and the day before. Career came out. Here's another page. What's this? Maybe distorted karmic, this is for the escapee, is upset because they think that you're going to go and find this calm, receptive, kind woman. If you share a child with her, I feel as though she's kind of salty with the idea that you being off and happy, that the child that you share together will be happier. But of course, without tension, strife, and fighting in the home, yes, the child would be more open to exploration and would flourish. I think this woman despises the idea of her child flourishing without her being present and being able to take credit for it. It's like to maintain appearances, her own appearance of herself in her mind. Kind of like Mrs. Lovett, I guess, fancied that she might appreciate the little boy's dedication to her. We'll call whoever that is the antagonist. If you're dealing with an antagonist in your life, Go inside, seek counsel, listen to your intuition keenly. Yeah, conform being over this Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups. That I definitely wanted to say, little baby will conform to that new environment and adapt. I'm gonna ask, wow, 6, 7, 8, the devil and the high priestess. King of Swords, be thoughtful, move with precision. Like, ask yourself what would 007 do and take advantage of all of the gifts that you have been given. Like, you're charming. You have a good, loving network. You need to fall on them. Look, the Chariot, Judgment, Ace of Cups. If you are trying to get to this Queen of Cups, then I would suggest that you go for it. Like, shit. If the Queen of Cups really is this Cupsy, then she will enjoy hearing the story, if only to empathically relate. Let you feel seen, you know? If you've been keeping with the 9, not the 9, the Hermit, in the reverse, selflessness, integration, attainment, underneath this energy of the unexpected, conflict, movement, King of Cups, if you've kind of been, if this person has been abusing you and you've been keeping that a secret because you're a man, definitely, yeah, that's kind of egoic. It's kind of self-defeating. Because if you've been doing it out of a sense of selflessness because you feel like this person, you know, their ego is too big, they can't really control themselves, you know enough about their personal history and their personal narrative that you feel, you felt, or feel that you had to protect them by keeping their truth a secret, unless that is strategy because they are narcissistic as fuck. Don't do that. Tell somebody. Put a death to that. It has ended. Yep, it has ended and finished for better or worse, and now it's time to go ahead and transform from being re-victimized, I suppose. It's like if this person couldn't keep loyalty to you, honor your sensitivities, they couldn't dignify you as a human being to keep their fucking paws off you, then you definitely don't owe them keeping any secrets. That doesn't suit you in your highest good. So strategically find somebody you can disclose to and hit them up. Go ahead and come out of the, I feel like, isolation this person puts you in. And I'm really getting, it's like, of course, this happens every day, all the time with people. 4-4. But I feel, and 2-2, which is another 4. So that's 4-4-4. And then 8. I get a huge sense that this is a dude. A dude who is, you know, you stepped in some shit. And met a pathological fucking woman. And there's nothing really out of the ordinary about that. They exist. Typically, though, they hedge their bets better than men. See, this is what it is. It's not that male predators are more predatorial than female predators. It's the advantage of size. It's the advantage of testosterone, which you could call the competition hormone. Women have a different way of relating to the world around them, And so they're not likely to walk up behind you in a dark alley and bop you over the head because they have some fantasy of dominating somebody. They work within different parameters and boundaries which afford them more leeway under the letter of the law, judgment, Gevora. Some things can't be litigated, some things can't be criminalized, you know, but they still aren't right. Women are better because estrogen is not so much a go, you know, hormone. Yeah, it's just less criminal, but socially it's just as toxic. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Like, but anyone who has been victimized often has to fight the shame. And whoever this person is, this is probably their way of fighting whatever fucking shame that they're carrying. Because some people identify with the perpetrator. And their desperation and the urgency to never feel like a victim again, they overcorrect. King of Wands. Temperance is in reverse, but I feel that somebody's being called on to take this seriously and take their lives seriously. Fake it until you fucking make it, if you got to. But don't let somebody dunk on you like this. Giving it just a little bit of, you know, if you gotta be seditious, if you gotta, this is a good cause. Free yourself. Go ahead and take the wheel in your hands. Thank God that you fucking made it this far messing around. Because while she's not likely to, you know, just fucking start 1-2ing you in the in the living room because she heard something she didn't fucking like on one of those reality TV shows that she watches. And I don't know where that came from. Women are more likely to poison. So while you're, you know, I don't know, waiting for the next psychological wound, this person could really be plotting to one up, you know, to fucking go harder in the paint. King of Swords, underneath the Five of Cups, Page of Cups, and the High Priestess. So, I love you. I'm praying for you. I'll even throw in a prayer for this motherfucker here. So that, you know, because if a person's gonna be toxic, I would like them to not be doing crimes against anybody. I love y'all, and I will be back tomorrow, and I can't call this a bad reading, but I hope that the energy is lighter. But then again, I just want to be where I'm needed to be, when I'm needed to be there, and I want that for you, and this ain't it. So, I love you. Be good. Bye.